All right, now we have audio. There we go. That's better. Kind of debating if I want to switch. I did just get batteries in, so I could do my lav mic, but I'm not going to do that tonight. How are we doing? Oh, there's Steven. Oh, I didn't do stream yard for this one. Because I didn't know. I'm hoping my power stays on this time. But yeah, we had power issues. Monday night got cut a little short. Power went out and didn't come back on till for a while. I'm not doing any configuration tonight. But I ended up figuring out the problem on Monday night right before power went out, and I had the value as negative in the on the duet, which was wrong. It's supposed to have a positive value. So all that works. Everything's working. The only problem is it's getting inconsistent layers, and I went through. Steven sent me a guide, and I went through that as well, and still having very inconsistent leveling with the BLTouch. Hey Ryan, how you doing? And the only thing that people talked about in the Discord that it could be is just because it is such an old BLTouch. This is a version 1, I guess, with a metal tip. I got this for the FT5 back in 2017, I guess, early 2017. So probably a good anywhere between 3 and 4 years old. And it's just not working out very well, and it's not cooperating with either the textured sheet or even the smooth sheet. I switched to smooth sheet right now, and it's still just acting up. So Ryan, who's in the chat now, has agreed to send me his, or has offered, I should say, not agree. He offered to send me his BLTouch 3.1 that is working, and mine is not. So again, Steven, why it's not, I don't really know. But everyone had said that it's just the metal tip is not as reliable as the plastic tip. Also, the tip on the metal is much wider than what it is on the plastic one, because the plastic one comes more to a point, where the metal one is kind of like a rounded bottom that goes down. And I think the textured surface is not playing well, because even looking at the G32 results in the duet, you can clearly see that there is an issue of it's not going the same level every time. So it's kind of just the way it is. Yeah, I am live Sergeant Kill every Friday, same time. I'm like 3 minutes early tonight, but in one more minute we'll be on time. So we're gonna switch out that BLTouch once that comes. Ryan sent me the tracking number today, so that should be here hopefully in about 3 weeks. So I have to fill the next 3 weeks with other content other than the BLV. But for tonight, the main thing, I want to accomplish 2 goals tonight. One I kind of forgot about, but the first one is I did get some pretty awesome Noctua 12-volt fans. These are supposed to be quiet. These are more of the industrial fans from Noctua, and we're going to be installing these in the bottom. I don't know if I'm going to use all 3 or not, but we're definitely going to use at least 2 of them in here. I don't know if I might put one in the top as well, but I definitely want to get 2 of those installed down here so that we can have good airflow across the electronics and the power supplies and whatnot. Brandon, I tried M48 and the duet tells me that it's not supported when I do M48. I have the printer powered off right now because I'm working on the fans now, but it's when I try to do M48, it doesn't do anything. It says that this command is not supported. I don't know how to get that to work in Duet, so don't worry about that later. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and get started with these fans. We're going to remove this fan that I have in here. This is just an older 80mm fan that I had laying around, but I want to go ahead and put at least 2 of these new ones in so we can get some good airflow in this thing. So we're going to switch over to this camera so we can see that. And yeah, if you guys have any questions while I'm working through this, please let me know. But we're going to go ahead and get started here. Now these are very easy to put in. They're just held in with some T-nuts. believe 30 millimeter fan, 30 millimeter bolts, because these are 25 mil thick fans. And how I have it right now is I'm just using a type of splitter, and I'm going to look into these fans here real quick and see what all they come with. Now, these Noctuas do come with a pre-made, what do they? I think they call it a noise reduction jumper as well, and these ones do not. Thought they did, but some of the other Noctuas, I could have swore it said it was supposed to though. They come with a noise reduction resistor, and to help quiet these down even more. I think I have some. They might actually be down in the resin room. I might need to go down there and check them out. So, Alexi, benefit will just be, yes, of course, cooling will always benefit electronics. That's kind of regardless. You should always have moving air in here. This is going to be completely enclosed. So there's this is sealed here. When I put the other side panel on here, that's closed. This is closed. The only opening is going to be the bottom of the top. There's a back panel that's going to go over this. I'll show you guys that. If I've shown this back panel off, but this back panel is going to go like this, and the only spot open is the where the spool goes. That's going to get covered up with the actual blank from here when I cut that on my laser with a magnet. That's going to seal that shut. So that is going to close pretty much the entire back, again, except for the vents that are in the top and bottom. I can show you those vents here. So right there. So that's why we're putting the fans here in the bottom, because I want them to draw in cool air and go up across our electronics and pull up. Now, I'm not going to have one directly over here on the other power supply, but this is a passive one. It's not having a whole ton on it, but it's got a fair bit. So, and it's going to go right up across, going to hit all of our heat sinks on the board and keep everything nice and cool. Because I don't know, I mean, like right here in my office here, I don't have air conditioning. So if I have a way to keep my electronics cooler, I have to take it, because it's imperative to keep everything cooler. Even if it's a little bit warmer air, it's better. But because, again, I don't have a AC space for these printers, they only are more susceptible to heat and issues from that because of that. So what we're going to do here is figure out how we're going to hook these up. So again, these are the fans here. So these are 80 millimeter Noctua fans, and these should be 1800 RPM. They're 1.3 watts or 0.11 amps. So honestly, these don't pull much more, if at all more, than the small Sun-On 4010 fans. So this really will help keep everything much, much cooler. And again, I have two of these I'm going to put in here for now, and we'll kind of see if I need to put the third one or not. What being said, I moved all my electronics up in addition to cool the steppers with the fans. Yeah, I did also think about putting one. I used to have it when I had the STR. I had a fan mounted just like this blowing up on there, but because I put in this passive power supply, I really wanted to make sure that I had some way to cool that as well. And I think we can just put one in right underneath here. That'll work out well. And then I think I'll put one more here in the middle. I need to move a few things around here, I think, to make it work a little better, because I didn't really think, I knew I wanted to put these in, but I didn't really plan accordingly when I mounted everything here. So we're just going to figure that out. And again, I thought about putting one up in the top here to exhaust the air through. Just take out one of the, if you see up the top here, this is completely enclosed with these grills. So that way, nothing, once this back is on, nothing can come in here and get down into the electronics. I mean, granted, if you drop something small enough, yes, but anything large won't get down into the electronics. That's trying to keep everything enclosed and safe as possible, and keeping it all isolated is part of that. So we're going to go ahead and see how it ends up working, if I want to put that up top, I'll just remove one of these ones. I'm going to probably be this one right here because above electronics, I'll basically have like a wind tunnel going through here, which will be great. You know, always great to have some good cooling. So, that being said, let me go ahead and disconnect this first one. This I just made a simple jumper. It's a DuPont. It's coming out of one of my 12-volt splitters. I've got two 12-volt splitters here coming off the power supply. Each has their own rail, but either it's fine either way. I just did a DuPont to just a power splitter that I had from some other build or something when I was modding computers. So it should work out just fine. Nice thing also, this fan here, it has LEDs on it, so you can actually put messages on here. There's a connector right here that you hook into. I've had this thing for absolute years. I mean, probably 2007, 2008 was one of my. Look at that. That even still had the plastic on there. I've had this for so long. This is from Cool Jag USA, the Everflow. But this was back in my PC modding days, and I had a message on here. I did also, if any of you been watching the channel for a long time, this fan was also what I put onto the G-Tech 20. It's the G-Tech i3 aluminum when I did the 2056 board upgrade on that. It had this removable stepper drivers. I put 2100s in it. This was the fan I had cooling those 2100s because those things run super hot and it needs a very strong active cooling on them, a blower fan or something strong like this. And this 80 millimeter 12 volt fan definitely did the job for that. But again, I wanted to use this for something else. I did not want to waste it down in here. And I thought these industrial Noctua fans would be a good alternative. Rear wall is high so the motors remain outside the chamber. Yes, so another thing in the actual BLV design, in his design, is right in here is where he actually put 4010 fans to blow on these motors because they were getting too hot. Now, there's different talks about that. Like, number one, they shouldn't be getting that hot, means your amperage is too high. But some people say you have to have it high in order to have high speeds. I am not designing this to be a high-speed printer. I'm designing this to be an accurate, large nozzle printer. That's what I want this to be. That's how I'm building it. I'm not saying I'm not designing it. That's how I'm building this to be a very accurate, large nozzle machine. I don't care how fast it goes. I don't print for speed. It's not my goal. If I was building a rail core, maybe, but I'm not. So that is what I need this machine to be. If these are getting too hot, I'll deal with that later. But he does have some 4010 mounts that mount right on this 2020 extrusion here and blow directly onto this motor and another one over there blowing on that motor. So I don't think I'm going to need that here. But, you know, again, we'll see. I might end up just cutting this down and hardwiring it directly. I hate to do that because then I ruin a fan, but I'm not really going to use these fans for literally anything else. So it might not be that big of a deal. Let's kind of just see how this looks in here. That. I think also this fan is bigger. Yeah, this is the same size. Interesting. Let me get one kind of post over here. The only problem is this one cable coming from the one motor is, you can see it's a little short. I had to cut this corner a bit. So it is along the fan. I think to solve that, we're going to go ahead and put in a mount there, which I have another one right here. See if we can pull that down a little bit more. Dr. Robotnik, what is up? Oh, yours is water cooled, Wolfgang. Well, that is, I mean, geez, you want to just like show off, then there you go, brother. This one's top tier. Okay. Pliers. Ryan, it is because I'm on my condenser mic. I'm not using my lav mic right now. Batteries literally came in today, and I did not replace it, so that's why I'm using the condenser mic today. I will replace them, so tomorrow I'll have it, but I just was lazy today. Make sure it's not hitting. The fan is dead silent. Good airflow. Good airflow. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so we'll get this one installed, and we'll figure out what we're gonna do with the second one here. I do wish I would have put this a little bit higher, but once the spool is on there, that's why I put it down so low. I want to make sure I had enough clearance when I have a spool on there. See, there's not a whole lot of space between. There's maybe a finger width and a half there for it. So, all right. Fielding in there. Screwdriver out. It is. One so far. Sounds okay. I think I'm going to move some of these around down here so I can fit a second one right beside it and have two of them going up this side. And again, this I did already replace the fan. I don't know if I said that before. I did already replace the fan in this power supply because it was quite a pain. Oh, I mean, it was quite a pain because the original fan was just dying on me because the magnet on it where the fan is attached is held on by magnets on a lot of these fans. And that magnet was just failing epically, and the whole fan was just popping off of the hub, which caused it not to move. And that's why the printer kept overheating and just shutting down because the power supply, even though these power supplies are cheap, they still have a thermal fuse in them. And once that thermal fuse, or I should say not a thermal fuse, but a thermal cutoff, once it hits a certain temperature in there, the power supply just dies until it cools down, and then it will start up again. If this fan is not working. This fan is working great. This is a Arctic Chill fan, I believe I put in there. Or it might have actually been a Sun-On fan. But basically, the whole fan was popping right off of the hub, which on most of these fans, this one, I want to break this one. But either way, this was just literally coming off and not spinning properly. So that's why I was having overheating issues when I originally built this. But as the new fans, I'm not worried about this cooling down. And just having these in there will help some of that airflow regardless in there. Hey, Jerry. Oh, Wolfgang, I did think about that, but because I upsized my bed is so much wider now, I don't have the option to do that because there's no space. I did think about that because that is very similar to the one IDEX machine. What one is that? Joel did a thing on it. I forget the company that did it. But I did think about kind of having it inside on one of the sides. I just don't have the space in this one. Would have been cool, but no space. Or try to do some weird loop on the bottom. That kind of would have been cool. Maybe have it like sitting actually flat down at the bottom of the printer like this and just have some PTFE2 coming off it. That'd have been all right. But a lot of issues with that is that if you have it on bearings, the spool will continue to spin, and then all your filament will come off the spool and then go down, and then you have an issue. So, I'd be interested to see, Wolfgang, how you got yours to work like that. Because I had it like on all my deltas before, and that was the issues. Because I had it laying down, it kept unspooling, and it was just an issue for me. So yeah, okay, got one fan in. Let's see if we get this other one here somewhere. There, it does fit there without hitting anything. So I need to maybe uh, make another power thing for it. To the wire box. See if I have any more fan headers. I might need to go downstairs real quick and grab a fan header. So I have female male headers. I don't know if I have any male ones in the box. This is what it looks like when you keep all your wires from all your builds. Oh. Well, I think I'm going to run downstairs real quick and grab a fan header. Let me look at my drawers here real quick. All right, I'm going to run downstairs real quick and grab a fan header real quick. Be right back. Do 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 do. Mute. So I didn't grab it, but I do have some of the noise ones down there. But It did have some of these from other Noctibos I have. These are a 3 to 2 pin adapter module. And these come with some of the Noctua fans. I've used Noctua fans in computer builds, other builds that I've done, and I have lots of these laying around. But I wonder if I have a connector, it might be a little easier and better than cutting down just a fan power, which is just a 2-pin to Molex connector, which I just cut down. Might have a more refined option here. Ooh, fall backwards. So someone was saying the Duet should be cooled from the back. I've never seen that before, but either way, this does have standoffs on it, so it will be getting airflow from these fans regardless. But I have never seen anyone's build have a fan on the back of the Duet to cool it. Does it fit this kit? Yes, it does. There we go. So I just need another one of these. Let's see here. Into this cable. Hey, I have a splitter here. Nice. We're just going to use this. This is why you keep the cables that you don't use. Because I have this splitter that I made for when I modified the HE3D, the K280, that giant delta that I have. I used this when I modified that to use dual 5015 part cooling fans on that printer. And I can use this on here. So the striped is positive. Does that coincide with this? Positive is on that side. All right, so we can just do that. 1 and 2. Show you guys here. Let's go back down to here. I mean, Slowmaro, I don't doubt you, but again, I have never seen a build anywhere, be it a BLV or even a Railcore, where people are cooling it that way. I get it. I also don't have any way to do that. So there's no way for me to strap a fan to the back of this and have adequate airflow. It's just not going to happen. So I'm not really worried about it because no one else is. So again, I don't doubt you at all, but I also have never seen that done before. Stay away from the duet form because this also not a genuine duet, and you get pretty much just like completely ripped apart because you're not using genuine hardware. And a lot of them are elitists, and that drives me absolutely crazy when someone is an elitist when it comes to 3D printing. And you know, if you are one of them, you know who you are. And if you know of them, you know who they are. So yeah. I always say we're doing striped as positive. So we're going to disconnect. As easily as those. Zoom in here. So these are my 12-volt splitters. Again, you can see I have one set of wires going to this one and one set of wires going onto this one. And these couplers are able to do positive and negative in them. You just get 1 in and 3 out, which is fantastic. Because this 12-volt power supply only has 2 sets positive and negative leads. And I've got lots of little wires that need hooked up. So that's really helpful. And they're rated to like 200 amps, I think. They're rated something stupid, which is honestly not necessary at all. But this one that I took off, I'm going to save because you never know if you're going to need that one. That's going to go there. And then we have our new splitter here. That's going to go on to here. If this works. And it powers on. Awesome stuff. Moses, what's up, man? Thank you, buddy. How you doing? No, Jim, it's me. So I'm on the. Everyone's bitching about it. Maybe I'll change it. All right, fine. Give me a minute. Batteries in the mail today from Amazon. Ryan are crying so much. Both my lav transmitter and receiver are both dead. What you doing, man? I feel like Moses' donation was a dig at Ryan for an inside joke that not many of us are going to get. There's one. I need to get rechargeable AA and AAAs. When I move, it's definitely on my list of stuff to buy. All right, give me 1 second. Let me switch microphones here. All right, check 1 2, check 1 2. Everybody more happy with audio now. I guess the old folks in the crowd need it a little louder from me. All right, so again, batteries literally came in today, so now we have that. Llama, I'm leaving here in May, so I'm trying to button up a bunch of projects right now because I'd rather not have a huge to-do list once I move. I'd like to have like this definitely has to be finished before I move because I want to be able to just move it, get there, and then it'll be working. So I definitely want to have this done before I move in May. I want to have the last reviews that I need to get done, and then those printers are probably all going to go away. We'll just be keeping a few of my ones that I want. Pretty much all my custom builds I'll be keeping, along with a few others, but most of them are going to be gone. And then whenever we move, we'll be looking for more review printers to come in. But I will be getting rid of pretty much all of the review printers, except for maybe the X1, but I might get rid of the X1 as well. This is way too loud. Can you go back? Kill me. All right. Well, I'm going to loop this cable this way. And we're going to zip tie it. Let me move back to this camera. One here. Just put this cable down underneath here. And then, oh, we need out some M3s, don't we? All right. Ah. $30mm M3s. I need some T-nuts. Okay. So it's going to go there. thereabouts. And we're going to run the cable and do a zip tie on it so that we're going to just kind of, I don't want to cut these. Again, you never know if you're going to reuse something on a different project. There's no reason to mutilate a fan. You don't have to. So this one's going to go like this here. Just between that cabling there. Nice. Oh no. Or did I use 35s? I thought I used 30 mil screws. Yes, I did. These 30s are too short. There's no way I use 35s. Those are way too long. First I put the screwdriver down and then I lose it. Because these are M4s. That's why they're not working. Why do I have M4s in with the M3s? That's no bueno. Okay, you go in there. An M3? That's an M3. I just happened to pick out 2 M14 nuts out of the all M3 drawer. No wonder it wasn't working. It's not spinning. Like that. You're going to hook this in. Set this down between them. And then when we turn on, we've got 2 fans blowing up without issue. It's pretty good. I can feel that all the way up here. And once the back panel on here is enclosed, these are going to get way more directed, and that air is just going to be absolutely blasting up to the top of this. So that should give us more enough cooling. I wasn't having any cooling issues to begin with. And other people asked that. There was no cooling issues here to begin with. This was just me preemptively wanting to do this so that there are no issues further down the line. So yeah, that is awesome. That works. That's good. Cut that tail off. And now we have cooling. Again, I did buy 3 fans. I thought I was going to put 3 in down here, but I think 2 is going to be enough for now. And again, if I have any issues, what I'll do is I'll just put one right here. I might even just mount it to this actual thing, just zip tie to there, and just have that help assist pull air up and out of this. And because everything here stays cool, that will create more wind through here, pulling up. We'll be pulling hot air away from the power supply as well, bringing that up and out. So that should all be good. Honestly, should not be a problem at all. Because it's so high off the ground as well, we won't be getting any down here. We've got quite a bit of gap between here, so we shouldn't be picking up too much stuff off the floor. These are only 1800 RPMs. They're not very powerful, but they do have a high CFM. Forget what it is on these, actually. Does it say on the box? These are 53 M3, so meters cubed per hour. So I don't know what that is actually for just CFM. 1800 RPM, 3-pin. They're only 17 decibels. 17. That makes these extremely quiet, which is great. So, and again, they don't pull very much, so this 12-volt power supply should have no problem providing power to these guys. All right, let me put these bolts away real quick. And we're going to switch gears a little bit and try to figure out filament runout sensor. Okay, all that stuff's away. Now we can go here. I didn't do much homework into this yet, but I want to see how to do the filament runout sensor. Oh, Dan's here. What's up, Dan? So I do have the sensor. Where did I put it at? I was reading all the LEDs because, you know, Aaron was a smart ass and said that planes could take off with this printer lit up. So, okay, fine, buddy. So I went ahead and I had to change them anyways, because remember when I put on the dual 5015 fan mount, these were actually hitting those lights. I went and flipped the lights, but then when you're printing the first few layers, you did have zero lighting up there. Everything was down low. So that wasn't going to work out. So these new ones are working a lot better. I do have the option still, if I need more lighting, I can put them up top here. But right now they are underneath this beam here. When I turn it around, I can show you guys that. So, oh, you guys didn't get to see the side panel mounted up. I have a logo on each side. So here is the side panel with the logo on it. I wish it was a little bit bigger, but this was as big as I could get it on the Mark III's. That was the printer I decided to use. It's just hot glue on there, so I can always pop it off. But yeah, we got a nice logo on these side panels now. There's one on each side. I have the logo also in the boot up screen on the Duet, which really doesn't matter because you see it for like 3 seconds and it's gone, but this is forever. So I think it looks good. It's not Wasp, this is Bumblebee. But it does kind of look like a wasp, but no, it is a bumblebee. An angry bumblebee. That's what we want here. I need to find that runout sensor. Where did I put it? Might be down in the bin of parts for this printer, which is right here. It's a crow for Dad that Mom forgot when she left. Where is the sensor? Shit, don't know where it is. It's not on the table, is it still? No. Underneath all this stuff? Maybe it is, maybe it is. Yeah, here it is. Okay, it's here. All right. All right. Bumblebees are angry. That's why they sting you. Okay, so we have the runout sensor. Now, if I look, I'm going to power this on, and I'll let you guys see this here too. As it boots up. Because it's already in the firmware of where it's connected to here. So system editor, config. So down here, it says it's disabled. So it's M591. And this is connected to end stop input 3. So I want to look up the M591. M591. So here, okay. So M591 is telling me The C is the input, which is connected to. And this says it's 3, right? And that is correct. This as E0. Okay, so that's going to be, if we look at our wiring diagram, which should be here, E0. So we have E1 and then E0. So E1 and then E0. And the pinout is, I have the Triangle Lab here. This is the one that I'm using because it's the one I have. And it tells me the pinout here. So red is the 5 volt, yellow is signal, black is ground. So we're going to do signal, voltage, ground is what ours is going to be. So yellow, red, black is what we need it to be. This cable is far too long. So we're going to figure this out. So if we're going in here, it's only going to be right here. I'm going to figure out a way how we're going to get that to stay there. I don't know if we're just going to have it dangle down or something like that. I don't know. But if I want to do like here, that's more than enough cabling right there. And we're going to go ahead and put the duet connectors on it since I have them. Might as well use them. Crimpers. Thank you, Dr. Robotnik. I do try to make a clean build as much as I can. This is not how I envisioned it, but it's how it ended up. So I was hoping for a slightly cleaner end result, but it is easy to navigate, so I can't really complain, I guess, right? There's red. Black. Now yellow. Now there's some, if you guys are familiar with the BLV, if you're in their Facebook group, you should see some of those guys wiring. You could definitely tell who's the electrician in the group, which there are several of them that are building these machines, because they look absolutely flawless. Insane how nice they look. But they have put in so much time into just the wiring of their machines. They look great. They really do. I need a connector. Oh, they're down here. So I need a 3-pin connector for this one. All right, we said, okay, if the connection goes on that way, it is signal, voltage, ground. Okay, turn this off. This goes on E0, like that. And then we can turn it back on. Sign up for the giveaway of this printer. Oh, Moses, you funny guy. Marcus, how you doing? When all the wires are red. Yeah, but when all the wires are red, you don't know what's what. And Wolfgang, yes, some of them on that are way over-engineered, man. Well, Jim, I think, honestly, everyone's talking about it. I really do think that I could do a wall run once I move. I think that would be pretty cool. So we're going to go ahead and enable this now. We'll save the change. We're going to reboot it and see if this works. Oh, we got lights on it. That's a positive, I guess, right? Take a thing here. Does it show it anywhere? Machine properties. And oh yeah, it works. Oh, you guys can't see. Derp. There we go. So it is right. Of course, my freaking head's in the way. Right here, E0. End stop hit is yes, because there's no filament in it. Put this in. End stop goes no. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Myself back there. Yeah. That was easy. That was super easy. So that being said, I do want to also check in here. So the extruder drive number is the D value. So let's go back in here to the config document. So D is 0. It is extruder 0. That is correct. The P value is the type of sensor, which obviously it works right now. It has a P of 1. So that is a simple sensor. Yeah. And then S is disable filament monitoring. S1, enable it. Okay, it is. Additional for laser filament monitor, additional for rotating magnet, additional for pulse generation. I don't know what that is. So the only thing I don't see here where it says, so in Marlin, you can tell it that once that's triggered, how far after it should to go till. I'm guessing this is immediate. If I had to be a betting man, it would be immediate. So in-stop input 20.8 millimeters per revolution, 70% to 130% tolerance, 6 millimeter detection length. That's the E value, but that's laser. It does not say that is on anything else. Default's 3 millimeter for a laser one. So I guess I'm just going to leave it what it is and see if it works. I mean, immediate would be simpler because I don't have a whole lot of space. So you see the spool goes here. The filament just goes up right here into, this is my reverse Bowden right here. So it's coupled right there. So this sensor is going to sit basically just right here like this. Once I tag that in here, I think I might just throw a zip tie or something to help dangle that here. Or if I drill this out, I don't know if I can fit a piece of PTFE in here. But if I drill this out, I could fit PTFE up in there, which maybe I'll do that. But this PTFE is quite large. I don't know if I want to use stuff this big. Let's zero this. Okay, this stuff is 4 mil. I guess it's fine. So let's get out a 4 mil drill bit real quick and give it a shot. You can always reprint that bracket. That bracket's just held in with 2 M5s. But let's do a 4 mil. Oh, we need a battery. Had to use the hot glue gun last night, so batteries on the hot glue gun. Just go into it a little bit. All right, we can go deeper than that. All right, cool. So now we can just do like this. Just like that. And then we can cut this. There's fine. And then get our sensor here. Filament goes this direction, so it has to go on like this. Actually, you know, we can just, I'm just going to attach it to this loom right here with a zip tie real quick so that it doesn't want to go anywhere. That is directly in line with my filament path right there. Let's test that out real quick. Spool goes on here. Filament gets fed up into here and easily goes all the way up and in. Nice. That was actually way too simple for this build because we've had so many roadblocks on this build. So many different things. Sorry, that camera was wicked crooked there. But yeah. Yeah, Moses, this is the BLV MGN Cube. So this is basically a over-engineered 4XY. Most people build it on the same as a rail core, things like that. Pulse generator. So if pulse generator is on there, then yeah. Yeah, because the thing was, so if the default's 3, I don't need to set anything for it. Once this runs out, I can easily, when I tell it to remove the filament, there's enough throw there that it will pop back out the bottom here, and I'll be able to just pull that out once that happens. But yeah, I like that. I'm going to redo some of these zip ties real quick in order to keep everything nice and tidy. We'll put new ones on, and I will cut the old ones off as I go along. I'll use some of the little ones that I have laying around here. And I think I'm going to go ahead and redo, while I'm hanging out here today, I do want to redo the end stops connectors, because right now I'm just using DuPonts because that's what I had on here from the what's called the SKR that was on here. But since I have the Duet on here now, I think I'm going to go ahead and just redo it with the Duet connectors so that I can save the DuPonts, because I do like to keep those around. And I just need to redo the thermistor and these two end stops, and this fan here as well needs to be redone. So I think we can do that. Oh, thank you, Dan. Appreciate it, buddy. Threw my cable in with the BLTouch. I don't know if I need it. I think, Ryan, what I can do is, because I put the connection right here, I should be able to use the stubby and just plug it right in and be good to go. I would love to not redo this whole thing like a 5th time, but if I have to, it's not a worry. But I think that also comes with a stubby and a 1 or 2 meter long one, but the 1 meter is not long enough. I would need a 2 meter one. But again, either way, that's okay. So let's turn this off then, and let's redo some cables here. So we're going to start off with this hot end thermistor right there. And I need the connector, so we need 1 2-pin, and then we need 2 3-pins, and I need 2 2-pins. Another 2-pin. All right. So now we're going to do the fun, boring part of me retipping cables. So, oh, it's a modded cable. Oh, okay. Thanks, Ryan. Well, Robotnik, you might be right that it is pulse. You don't really know. But either way, I think we'll do some initial testing. We'll see how it all goes. But I'm not 100% sure I can do any of that testing now just because of the issues with the, what did I do with that flathead? Not that one. I have to use a knife. With the BLTouch acting weird. It annoys me that it's being such a pain because it would have been nice to just have it work. Steven seems to think that I'm just doing something wrong. Bananas for Curious Fund. Well, I do give Curious lettuce. We actually went and bought him more lettuce today. We did our grocery run, along with steak for me. But I'm sure Curious will appreciate the lettuce and oats fund. Dr. Body, get an icy pole on me. I'm guessing that's a popsicle? And whatever the A, what's the A currency? It's not Australian because that would be AU, right? Did I pull up pins? I did. I don't think we've ever given him bananas, Brandon, but we do have to be careful because we ask Alexa all the time if he can eat certain things. And there are certain fruits and whatnot that he can't eat because they're poisonous to rabbits. We also have to be careful because we do have avocado trees in the backyard, or an avocado tree, and he can't eat those. So we do try and pick up all the ones that fall. And apparently bunnies don't know that something is poisonous to them. So if they eat it, they'll just die. Like they're like, oh, this is bad. I shouldn't eat any more of this. No, they'll just eat it, apparently. Oh, did I miss it? No, I didn't. Got close though. I hate when you do it and it doesn't work. There, that worked. That worked. Okay. So now we can put these 2 pins into here. For anybody that doesn't know, Curious is my bunny. Thanks, Moses. Curious is the bunny that we adopted during the pandemic because, why not? And yeah, he was in the house for a while. He had a couple accidents. I said, you know what, you're going back outside for a while, and he's been outside now. It's summer here, so he's been hanging out there. We'll probably bring him back in a little while. All right, so now we have to do this one here. So this is the X end stop. But for a while, Curious was a very regular guest here on my live streams because he likes to chew on the boxes in my office. Like, you're supposed to give bunnies cardboard as well to help with their teeth and things like that. We did get him some chew toys for Christmas, or Santa brought him some chew toys for Christmas, actually. So it made him happy. Those off. I do have a bunch of my cables here
labeled as well. So, Brand, the other thing is, so like people think that you can give bunnies a bunch of carrots, and you can't, because they are so sweet. They're only allowed to have so much in their diet. They're not supposed to eat it all the time. We do have to be careful when you do give him treats, not to give him too much, because it will make him sick. Man, it is so freaking hot in here. All right, rabbits too, Moses, but allowed to have a pet one. I mean, I haven't eaten one in years, but so Florian says, what is my take on the Volron design? More or less complicated than the BLV MGN. Well, there are several people here who have built Volrons, so they can say to that. I think honestly they're probably equally as challenging of a build, just because of the size and scale. Getting started with the Volron can be a little more pricey. You can start with a BLV, slightly cheaper, but just like with pretty much any 3D printer, to include the rail core, the price can go up exponentially very quickly depending on how much you put into the build. I have tried my best to keep this one at a reasonable cost the entire time, because I don't like spending too much money. And red goes on this side. Also, due to my lack of experience with the Volron, I can't say if it's more or less capable than this. I would assume it's more capable. Just the designer behind the Volron is, I mean, he's honestly practically a genius. Like, he does his designs are fantastic. Not saying that Ben's is any less, but like his designs are way more refined than what this are. And it just takes a little bit more to get those done. That's all supposed to be printed in ABS. This doesn't have any type of like standardization to it. Volrons, you can get a serial number once you finish your build and things like that. So, I don't know. Ryan did just post in the Discord a pretty affordable starting point for Volron. Was that 2.4? I think it was. Starting at like, well, for the 350 by 350 by 350 kit, it was $900 plus $50 shipping, which is pretty good for China right now. Most everything's like $200 shipping for anything. The only thing you have to do is print your own parts for that kit, which is, again, fairly standard with most of these. I got this kit for, I believe it was about $490, and then it was $160 for shipping, because the price of the kit was so low, they make up for it in shipping, and you have no other choice if you really want it. The Ryan has a Volron 2.6. I mean, I don't have air conditioning in here. I have air conditioning the rest of the house, but not in the office, because this house is all split packs, which I hate. But such is life. I don't get to pick. Another hope when I move is that I actually have an office. And if I do have an office, hope it's air conditioned. That would be amazing. This is not cooperating. Come on. Got 2 more wires after this one here, after this connector. Not great crimps, but I think they'll work. And then this goes on this way, which means red is on this side. Yeah, that's where gaudy crimps. Connector twisted a little bit in the tool. Red's on this side. Black is on this side, right? Yeah. Click. Goes in here like this. And we got a good connection. Now for this guy. Okay, positive is on the right there. And this is our 24 volt part cooling fan. And yeah, this connector was on its last leg from the get-go because this was a pretty poor crimp. It was a JST before, which is why it was so poor. JSTs are, for me, very hard to crimp. I never get them right. You'd think after doing like 4, 5 custom builds, I'd be able to do it better, but no, I still suck at it. They've named him Leonardo. That's awesome, Ryan. Is there any reasoning behind that name? Building a 2.4, need to get the hot end. What do you think of the Triangle Labs Dragon? I think Brandon has the Dragon. I hear good things about it. I have not bought one yet. But I've heard good things about them. They are like the perfect mix between a E3D V6 and a Mosquito from what everyone says. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But again, from what I hear from other people, they are pretty good. Oh man, that's... Started going crooked there. Don't run a crooked crimp. There it goes, right at itself. But it did go crooked. All right, well, we'll do another one. They give you lots of spares, which is nice. Probably go to all of these twice, honestly, with as many as they give you. Come on. There we go. Okay. I said positive was on the right. So we're going to go like that and like this. Good positive click. So I do like these connectors. Once they go in, you get a nice positive in there. Some more crimping. It'd be pretty funny. I was Ryan, but I actually honestly read a tutorial and figured out a better way to use these ones, and it is to step down. So what I've been doing is I get the pin and I put it in here and I cramp it down and I get it set. So it's set in the largest one. This is for 1 millimeter crimp here on this one right here. So I get it set in there and I crimp it down. Then I take it to the second one here, crimp it down, and then if it's a small wire, take it to the third one, crimp it down. I have gotten perfect crimps ever since I started doing that. I was always just using the smallest one on small cables and the medium, but I wasn't ever always. I was always getting good connection on the cable. I wasn't getting a good crimp on the sheathing of the wire, which really is what holds it on. But ever since I started stepping down, it's worked out perfectly. So I've kind of not gone to it. I thought I actually bought. Where's my bin of stuff? I thought I bought a dragon. So this is my 1111 bin. In here is that's a BMG. These are the mosquitoes. This is another BMG. A bunch of Prusa fans. The small Triangle Labs one. Oh, this is it. Yeah, so I did get one of the little dragons. It's this guy right here. I'm going to pull out the bag because you can't see jack squat. Funny how they left a piece of filament in there to show that it goes all the way through. I don't understand that. I don't get that at all. But here it is. Here's the dragon. I believe this is the Triangle Labs one. So again, it's the mosquito type throat there, cooling, and then it is the E3D V6 block. They say it's the best of both, so I'll have to let you know. But it does look nice, yeah. Filament out of there. And I honestly don't have a use for these ones yet. I just picked them up to try out at some point. The Hemera is going on Megatron, and I don't know what I'm going to pair the Hemera with. Then I have a bunch of, I did get some micro Swiss nozzles in as well, some 0.6 hardened steel ones to use as well, because this right now has does this one have the hardened nozzle on it? I forget what this one has on it now. But yeah, I do have those to play with at some point. I don't know when that's going to be, just because projects are stacking up, and trying to stay on top of what current projects are is taking time. So yeah, I think it will be cool to try out. We'll see what ends up going on Megatron. I'm sorry, see what ends up going to Optimus. Again, I know I'm putting the Hemera on there, but I don't know what that will be paired with, anything like that. Man, I think that about calls it for like wiring on this sucker. We've got so this right here, I didn't show before, but this is where I put come on, there we go. Zoom in right there. Okay, so here we have this is a power down, so this is I'm down converting. So I'm taking 12 volts coming up into here, feeding the down converter and putting out 5 volts. I need the 5 volts for the NeoPixels. And I'm also running this Arduino Nano Pro or Mini Pro, I think it's called. This right here is running the sketch for the NeoPixels on the front. And there's 3 data pins right here. So this is the red, brown, and orange that's here. And these are for, one is the hot end temperature, one is the heated bed temperature, and one is the print completion out of 100. It's that. So that also turns like red and will turn like orange when the printer is busy, like moving or something like that. Red if there's a problem. So that one's kind of universal, but the other 2 are just temperatures. It's red when it's heating up. It's blue when it's cooling down. It goes all the way down to 0. So this is what's required to run those 2 NeoPixels, and they just interface up here with where you would put the what am I calling it here? So this is where the panel duo is coming from off of there. But if you were to run a standard display or the panel duo off just the 2 10-pin headers, you wouldn't be able to do this because these cables run off of those 10-pin headers, one of them, to interface with the board. So that's kind of how all that ties in there. And then the BLTouch wiring is here and here as well, going off the probe and some of the expansion ports on here. I don't like how loose these DuPonts are. I might tack some hot glue on there just so they don't move, because it does worry me a little bit, but none of this should be moving back here at all when printing. Like literally none of this cabling should move except for this wire right here, which will be very, very slow. This is the bed wire. This will very, very slowly move up and down when it is printing, but other than that, none of this should be affected because it's all zip tied in and really, really just staying right there. So yeah, I think that's it for wiring on this sucker. Really, I'm just trying to like think if there's anything else. I do need to slap a magnet on here and figure out how I'm going to do the back panel, because again, this is going to go on here like this. Once I get it on there, I think I can power. So it's going to sit in here. Let me just make it so this will stay. 1 second. So T-nuts aligned. Okay, so that's the back panel, and I have the blank right here, which I need to file down because it literally has like barely any clearance whatsoever. So it's really tight. I want to file it down just a little bit, make a little bit of gap there so it's easier to get on and off. And I'm going to just put a magnet on here, and I'm going to attach a knob, probably just super glue it onto here with a magnet on the other side. And then those will just touch right there, and that will just end up sitting to cover up the hole. So I want to remove filament, just take this out, and there is just enough space for me to put a spool in like so, and then feed it up and in. It's tight, but what I have to do is I feed the filament in and then set this in there. I didn't want to make the hole any bigger. I also can't anymore unless I figure out a way how to perfectly line this up again in the laser, but it was my first time ever cutting on the laser and it worked. I'm just happy that it worked, but I did offset it just a little bit so that I have space to be able to maneuver the spool in and out more easily. Because if it was dead on, it would be too hard to set this in and out because you can't hold a spool from the side. There's no real way to do that. You have to hold it at one point. So I had to offset it a little bit. But yeah, so the back panel is pretty much good to go. It does fit on there very tightly, but I wanted to wait until I had everything in here buttoned up and finished before I went ahead and finished attaching anything to it there. So that is pretty nice to have that part done. What time is it now? I've been asked for an hour and 20. I'm going to put this other side panel on, and I'm going to go ahead and put on the rest of the acoustic foam in this. And the acoustic foam it's going to help insulate just a little bit, and it's going to help deaden the sound just a little bit as well. I wasn't sure if I was going to do it, but many people said that it really did help with their build in the BLV Facebook group. So I decided to go with it. And again, this is the other side panel. I do have these labeled with the top so that I know which side is the top. Because it's easier now that the logo's on there, but before I put the logo on, it was doggone near impossible to know which was the top of these panels without me just writing it in there with some paint marker that I had. And these are just these are M5. These are just some of the bolts that came with the printer. Some panhead M5s that hold these side panels on. I could have did one on each side, but I just did two. I measured them out so they're evenly spaced. I wanted everything to be fairly symmetrical. I figured it would look better having two holding them on rather than one. that panel on. And now we just need to switch to the glue gun so that we can get some hot glue going. This is the best hot glue gun ever. I've said this in many videos. This is the absolute best thing I bought in quite a long time. But having a wireless battery-powered hot glue gun is amazing. Ryan, I might work on the Mini because I did also get in the. Here. I have two parts here for the Mini. I have the USB extension, so I need to design and print the cover for that, which I might end up doing after the stream. Is designing and printing the cover for this because I need to do that. And then I did get in some 3030. They should be 3030 M5s. Yeah. So 3030 M5 T-nuts, which I had not had before. And this was just a pack of 50 off Amazon. Because I did install, Jim told me to go ahead and put on print out a Z-brace, which is like one of the top printed things for if you look up Prusa Mini on Prusa printers on their Thingiverse site, like the #1 print for that is the back cover for the LCD. The #2 print is the Z-brace. So many people are doing that because it does flex quite a bit. I don't know if Moses is still here, how that's going for him, but I don't know if he's done any of those mods. I think he's just run all his vanilla and not had any problem with it. But I decided to do it on mine. I'm using 2020s. They're not really linked on there properly, so we're going to put 3030 T-nuts on there and do it better. I also need to replace the T-nuts on the Mark III's over there because there's the two arms that come out in an archway, and the camera's mounted on there that's where I do all the time lapses. And in the Discord, the what I'm printing, that has OctoRant running on the Octopi, and that just shouts every 10%. It posts a picture of that print, so it kind of just shows some of the things I'm printing. It's only that one printer because I don't have like $300, $400 to put a Pi on every one of these and a camera. That's just ludicrous. And that channel would also get super clouded with all the different things. John Mack, man, I haven't seen you in forever, dude. Well, Dan, I also had to design a back mount for mine because I'm running the FiSec with the larger screen. It's bigger than the Prusa one. So because of that, I needed to design a new mount for it, a new back cover. So I just took the Prusa one and modified it a little bit, and wham bam, it worked. Need to cut this down real quick. Yeah, there's that. Also, with John Mack here, the only like other hooligan we're missing is Chris Rakaki. That one on. Let me get out a bigger. I have these small glue sticks and they just go so fast. Not even worth it. But that's why I've used the big glue sticks. There. This was gonna go like this. Just got hot glue on the front here. All right. So there's those ones. And I have one more for the back. I don't know if I wanted to install it or not. Just because of cable there. We're going to split this one down the middle too, I think. We got the other wire head. Knife out again. Double check chat here. Oh yeah, Aaron's here. What's up, man? Yeah, just doing some sound deadening panels in the back here. This one's gonna go burning myself there. Keep them straight as I'm eyeballing this. Who knows? Whoa! Don't break a panel, Shane. We have one more of those ones. It's a whole glue stick gone. That foot-long glue stick vanishing. Just like that. Turn this off so I don't burn myself. Clean up all the drips. Oh, Paul's here. What's up, man? Oh. Yeah. I think we'll go ahead and just mount this back panel on then, because again, I think I'm done in the back here. Everything should be exactly where it is, where it should be now. So I can just go ahead and put this on. Where's my bigger screwdriver at? That's the smaller one. I'm gonna put this on it. Oh, there it is. Line up everything. Did need a bit of a scratch on the back of this one here, so meh. Yeah, it's a 3D printer. It's not a showpiece, but you gotta be proud of what you do. There's no reason to do it. It was right around all the corner brackets. Cutting these panels took me hours. I mean, many long hours, to be honest. I almost gave up a few times. Pushed in there. And no, they're not perfect, but hey, I did this all by hand, and I can be proud of that. But I think that looks pretty clean, right? Yeah, we'll go right over all those corner panels. There's my scratch. It's there. Goes over the power here as well. Nothing bulges out. Nothing actually hits the panel either because it's on the outside of the 2020 extrusion. I made sure everything was inside of that. The only thing that barely touches are the two fans right here. They're real close there. See here. Let's make sure everything powers up okay still. We did all this work. And we're just gonna auto home it. You guys can't, I'm not turning this around right now. I think when I turn the lights on. Ah! Okay, let's do home. All right, end stop still worked. That's good. And it looks like the BLTouch is still gonna work. BLTouch still works. Awesome stuff. So yeah, I mean, we're real close to finishing this up. Real close. I might toy around a little bit more with this BLTouch just for sanity, I guess. And we'll kind of see how a little more tweaking goes with the offset. But yeah, I mean, I did 2 prints with the same offset. One was perfectly right level. The next one was completely off. I tried it a 3rd time, it's completely off again. Once it was too high, once it was too low, and buried the nozzle into the sheet, which kills me because the sheet cost me $60. That's the one issue is when you get into the flexible build sheets, they are extremely expensive. And if you run a hot nozzle through them, you just gouge it, and there's literally nothing you can do about it. So this is looking pretty good. Pretty good indeed, I think. I mean, I'm hoping, Aaron. I really am hoping that that is the cause of the problem. Again, according to Steven, this one should be just fine. Why it isn't, I don't know. I just don't. But I am going to toy around with it a little bit more. I'm going to work on designing and printing the new mount for the USB header for the Mini. And I guess we'll work on the Mini tomorrow night. That's kind of going to be the goal. If I can get the design done tonight, I can get that printed tonight or first thing tomorrow morning. And then tomorrow night, we can work on the Mini. That'll be fun. And then this I'll toy around with maybe tomorrow or something like that. I don't know. I don't want to waste too much time. Again, I did get a PETG print off of it with the Duet. So this is the Zyltech orange soda. You know, it came out. It doesn't look perfect, but it did work. I mean, it's decent layer lines. These are 0.3 millimeter layer lines. So you can see there, tolerances are good. Top layer is smooth. Bottom layer is rough with the texture of the build surface, how it should be. But we're not having any issues with PETG, which I didn't think. The test is going to be PLA, and I have not done a PLA test yet since I put the dual 5015 fans on there. I really want to try it. Might be the next thing I try on here, but for now, it does print. So that was kind of the thing of that. Yes, it does print. So we'll see how it goes. Pro, Brian? They trigger too early, not too late. Well, again, we'll see. I mean, Ryan can't type tonight, so that's, you know, funny. But I got more done tonight than I thought I would, honestly. We got panels installed. We got the sound material in. I got the new connectors put on. We got the new fans installed. The filament run out, which we have to test. Of course, with the doing a quick test is one thing, but actually cutting the filament and having it run out is a totally different thing. So I will have to see what happens with that. But yeah, again, I just need to do some testing and see how things go. So I'm going to call it there for tonight. It is so freaking hot in this office. Yeah, I'm going to call it there for tonight. This was a good stream. Got a lot done. I'm going to end it on a positive note and then go get lost in some music in Fusion 360 while I design a new face panel. And I think you guys will enjoy that. So make sure you guys join me tomorrow night where we're going to work on the Prusa Mini clone. Do a couple little upgrades on that machine. It's been printing great so far. I've done actually several prints for this machine on it. No issues there at all. But thank you again, everyone who donated. Moses, again, thank you, buddy. You always hooking me up. I appreciate it. Putting that money to good use. I have some new things I'm buying very soon. And a few things I'm actually going to wait until I move because I don't want to have more weight to ship things. So I'm putting money aside. We're going to buy a bunch of new stuff. I think it's going to be pretty awesome later this summer. So make sure you guys are all tuned in. Make sure you subscribe for the streams. If you want to help out me out, build crazy machines, donate via some of the links down below, Patreon, use the links down there, stuff like that. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's so much fun hanging out with you all. Happy printing and have a good night.